when you're fear. There's no easy way to hear. And all the memories you love to bring, with all the things that you hate to scream. So tell me, I'm hollow on the inside. There's no trying to hide from this monster inside me. So if you try to criticize me like the world defines me, image of what I have become.
A team that we thought was going to be winning 11 games, 12 games, won 3 games. And the Deshaun Watson experiment has blown up in our face. And the good news is, at least in our suffering this year, we had a first-round pick, which, Tristan, we found out today that the Cleveland Browns are going to be picking number 2 overall, thanks to the New England Patriots and Tennessee legend Joe Milton coming out, winning that game, pushing the Browns up from 3-2. So the Browns have 9 picks currently, and I want to throw a disclaimer here before I name a couple of these picks. These are subject to change, okay? The one thing that is not, or I guess it still is, but the Browns are picking 2. We're picking 33, 67, 93, 103, 167, 192, 206, and 207. That is 9 draft picks in the upcoming draft. It's a big difference, Tristan, from going from picking in the second and third rounds for the last few years to having number 2. But what is your initial reaction? What, in your opinion, does this mean for the future of this football team?
It means a lot, Derek. It's, we were talking a little bit about this before we clicked record. Certainly with that first pick, it gives you a lot of options. You can take a quarterback. You can, you can trade that pick and potentially pick up another first rounder next year. Who knows, maybe even more if somebody's desperate and wants that pick. You can really get a good haul. And who knows? I mean, it really could end up being a very, very good situation for us. And it's very important for me, at least, that the Browns have those options available to them at 2, which I don't think that they would have had as many options if they were at 3. With that being said, we'll get into our predictions and stuff later, what they should do. Certainly we'll talk a little bit about that, but we were also talking about it from the perspective before we started recording. It's the later picks too, like the second round pick. That's going to be like one of the first picks in the second round. That's, teams always like pick guys way ahead of when they're actually supposed to go. You're going to get a first round talent. It's going to happen. And it's going to be at a good position because the positions that this team need, there's a lot of depth in this class. And I will talk about what I feel like will happen, and a lot of it is going to be centered around what our needs are, as well as how I think the draft will pan out and kind of stuff like that. It's such a unique position, Derek, and I like where we finished because ultimately, like I said before, you have options.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and to a T. For me, the biggest thing is the later round picks, because obviously there's going to be a lot of debate. There's going to be a lot of discussion as far as number 2 goes. But at 33, at 67, and again, those are not official. I could not find the exact numbers. That's going off of a mock draft. But regardless, we will be picking around those spots. And like you said, guys are going to fall. We've seen great talents fall into the top of the second round as long as I can remember. And for the Browns, to need help at wide receiver, running back, offensive line, defensive line, to be able to sit there top of the second round, Tristan, that is what excites me the most, because the Browns, we're going to talk about BPA and we're going to talk about what we should do. But I think that best player available conversation is so much easier to factor in when you're at the top of the second round. Okay, which one of these guys fell to you and you can just snatch out of thin air? That is what I'm most excited about. And having 9 picks. Are we going to use all 9 picks? Maybe. We need a lot on this team. But ultimately, you have the ability to move around if you would like. And like you said, you are at a good spot right now. We're at number 2. You have literally every option of the draft on the board for you except one. And who that one could be a few different names. I mean, it is unsure. But as far as the rest of the draft goes, having those later round picks be higher is something that I think is significantly valuable. And hopefully it'll make up having a horrible football season.